I'm here once again at the campus of Fairleigh Dickinson University, right here at Robert T. Shields Field. And today, we had an opportunity to once again check out the FDU Devils football team as they prepare for the upcoming 2019 season. The Devils went 6-4 last year and look to try to build on that and have an even greater year looking to try to get to a bowl game. Well, what segment of FDU football would not be complete without interviewing the man himself, the head football coach here at FDU, Mr. Brian Surace. Coach, once again, great to see you. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Neil. Anytime. Really appreciate you coming down here.
Of course. So let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about the schedule at first. So obviously something very interesting this year. Week 1, September 7th, you're taking on Merchant Marine Academy. Talk to me a little bit about how you guys are going to prepare for a team you've never faced before, and what can we expect from you guys as you game plan for that team?
Well, the first thing about Merchant Marine Academy is you're going to get a disciplined, hard-nosed, tough football team.
Right.
That they run the Army and Navy triple option. Coach Toop has been there for a while, and they do a tremendous job, and their program has really been on a high note, playing in the NCAA playoffs, playing in bowl games, and we know we have an opener for us that our kids are excited about, but it's very challenging, and we have a lot of work ahead of us to do.
Sir, there's always room for improvement, no question about that. My next question to you, Coach, is, today was day one here on the field. Just looking at it from a whole, how do you think the team looked?
I'm very excited. Day one, you don't know in Division III because our athletes aren't around all summer working out with our strength coach and in the building. So you don't really see them since they left in May after the second semester, the spring semester ended. So there's always that anxiousness that you want to see them. You may see them stop in the office and say hello and shake their hand and find out what they're up to. But to see them on the field for the first day was very exciting for us. Although we've lost 10 seniors and a lot of productivity and leadership out of those players, we were really excited to see what we saw on the field today. A lot of depth, both returning players who got better, incoming players who we haven't seen before really impressed us. And I'm excited to talk to the staff about what their impressions were and get ready for day 2 tomorrow.
Well, that's great. Now, you did bring up something that I want to elaborate on. You talked about you did lose a good amount, 10 people last year, including guys like Jagger Green and Planter and Panzerino. And you have, a core of a lot of guys that are kind of new and also guys that are going to get a chance to play a lot more they did last year. What are your expectations for those guys? Are they at a higher level, the same levels they were before, or a little bit of both? What exactly are we looking at?
No, we've had a lot of players get experience last year, whether they be young or even older players that now may be forced or asked or just kind of fall into a higher role. And what we're going to ask of them is just be yourself. You don't have to do more than what we're asking you to do scheme-wise on offense, defense, or special teams, but you'll fall into making the plays if you just do what we ask in our scheme. And to their credit, the players that you mentioned and Isaiah Turner and all of our seniors last year really made an impact. And they didn't go outside our scheme or who they were as a player. Jagger didn't force many balls. He just took what the defense gave him, whether it was down the field or short or intermediate. And he didn't target one particular receiver every time. And if they can learn from that and take that with them into this year, I think we'll be better for it.
Now, one other thing I wanted to talk to you about the schedule, I had a chance to look at it. 4 of your last 5 games are on the road, and you don't have a bye week till towards the end of the season, so you definitely have an uphill battle to climb. What are going to be the keys to trying to, continue to have that sustained success with that tough schedule that you have?
Yeah, and our bye week's actually the last week of the season. We play 10 straight and then have that, like you said. And the schedule going in, and the schedule's a schedule. So you prepare for it, whether it's in your favor or not in your favor. It is what it is, and you have to handle, and that's what we talked to our players about. And we're going to have to do a good job of, trying to stay as healthy as we can, and those that are a little banged up, you don't get that extra week to, and wherever it may be during the season. Right. But, from that standpoint, football's football. It's a week-long sprint, but the season's almost a marathon because you have 10 of those. But as we tell our guys, we have a 24-hour rule after each game. We have to learn from it, and then we have to put it away and get ready for the next one, because no matter who it is or what's on our schedule, we have to beat them in every facet, whatever it may be, in the weight room, in the meeting room, on the practice field, and get ready for that. So as we told our players, listen, here's our schedule. We've done it every year, and these are who we're playing, and we have to prepare for that each week. And the sole focus has to be on that opponent. And I just read a great quote from Bill Belichick, who was saying that, listen, all we do is focus on the next opponent and the next day. That's it. We don't worry about all the other stuff that can get in the way of that. And that's really what we're trying to get across to our players, that you can take something and look at it positively or negatively. It is what it is. Let's go out and make the most of it. And that's what we're trying to do with our team this year.
Also, Coach, just talk to me a little bit about some of the opponents that you're facing. You have a couple intriguing matchups this upcoming year.
Well, the MAC conference is a tough conference. Last year, basically, Delaware Valley won the conference, and then Stevenson and Misericordia were second and third. And then everybody else from 4 to about 8 were all grouped together, and we're 4-4 in the conference. And some went to a bowl, some didn't. Some went to a Max ECAC bowl or a Max Centennial Championship bowl. And it's a challenging conference, really, week in and week out. You have to bring your all, and that's what I think our players understood about last year, that you couldn't overlook anybody, you couldn't underlook anybody. You really had to try to prepare to play your best football, because if the team across the way does, then we have to play our best and see where the chips fall. And in this conference, you have to do that more often than not, because there are so many teams that are good. Off the top of my head, I want to say 4 teams went to a bowl last year out of our conference, whether it was an NCAA championship or the Max Centennial, and that's a lot. And then the other teams that were left out had winning records, and unfortunately were left out of that. But there were, I think, 3 of those teams that had that opportunity, or 4 of those teams. So it's a challenging conference week in and week out.
That's great. Well, Coach, I really appreciate, as always, that you spend a couple minutes with me and talk about the team. We are excited to see what you guys are going to be bringing to the table this year. And we look forward to seeing how the entire season goes. So thank you so much, as always.
Absolutely pleasure, and good luck, Neil.
Thank you. I'm here with Offensive Coordinator Jimmy Robinson. Coach, thank you so much for once again spending a couple minutes with me. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, thank you for coming by. Real excited about it, but we really appreciate you stopping by practice.
Of course, and we appreciate you guys giving us time. First of all, I just want to say a quick congratulations to soon-to-be. I know we talked about it, I think it was about 2 years ago, and now it's part 2, so congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Daughter number 2 coming in a month, week 3 of the season. Daughter number 1 2 years ago came during preseason right about this time, and that's the most important thing. We stress family here with our team, but it starts at home, having that rock of my wife and then my 2 daughters and the rest of my family, so that's what it's all about.
Family certainly is the most important thing. So now let's shift to football a little bit. So far, day 1 in the books. How do you think you guys look?
So far, so good. Excited. A lot of energy, a lot of passion out here, but just super excited to be back. Super excited about the competition out there. 1 day in, but there was guys on all 3 phases flying around, guys excited in meetings. So just happy to be back and can't wait to keep cranking along.
Certainly sounds exciting. You used exciting a lot. I really like that. So my next question to you, Coach, is just looking at the fact that you lose 2 very key players on offense last year with Mike Panzarino and obviously your quarterback, Jagger Green. Who are some of the guys that you're looking for to step up going into this year after losing some key players from last year?
Oh, yeah. We lose 2 of the best players in school history at 2 important positions, but it's the next guy up mentality. We have a lot of competition at those positions, a lot of guys that I know are going to step up even in the first day. We're going to have some guys that are going to continue to surprise us. We're going to have to lean on the offensive line. We have a lot of guys that are returning there, a lot of guys that have played. We have 7, 8 offensive linemen that have played, so that's a position that we're going to need to lean on in this offense to get us going in the trenches.
No doubt about that. And my last question to you, Coach, is this. What can we expect, if you can give us a little bit of a preview, what can we expect from this offense going into this year?
Hopefully some big things. Again, we're excited, but hopefully you can expect a lot of guys that just bring that energy, a lot of guys that play relentless out there, playing instinctively. Those are the 3 things we want to do. We want to play instinctively, play fast, and play physical. So if our guys can do those 3 things as an offense, we got a chance.
Well, we are certainly excited to see what this offense is capable of. Well, Coach Robinson, thank you so much for once again spending some time with us. And again, congratulations. And we look forward to seeing how this season goes for you and your team.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I'm here with Anthony Van Kuren, the new defensive coordinator here at FDU. First of all, Anthony, welcome back to FDU. I knew you were here a couple of years ago, and we are certainly happy to have you back here.
I'm excited to be back. It feels like home. It's been a great program that Coach Strace has built here. Coach Robertson's built something great on offense. Coach Molson, who was here last year, Coach Sperone, they've laid the foundation for a great defense. I'm looking forward to keep building on that tradition of a fast, physical football team here.
I like what you say there. That's really important. So my first question to you, Coach, is this. Just talk about, you were at Rutgers the past 3 years. You obviously worked under head coach Chris Ash.
Absolutely.
He certainly gave you a lot to think. But what can you take from working at Rutgers the past 3 years that you can implement into this defense and what you want to see on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. Being at Rutgers the last 3 seasons, saw a lot of great things. Coach Ash is one of the smartest football coaches I've ever met, ever been around. So it was really a privilege to be able to work for him, to grow up through the ranks, starting off in recruiting as a player development guy, where I helped out with the different coaches in recruiting, working off the field as a quality control guy, my last season, and then 2 years in between that as a GA. So for me to be able to be there, be around some of those guys that are some of the best players in the country that they have on defense. Those guys, we have, I think, 4 guys from this past class that went to the NFL. So we have a lot of talent over there. Coaches were great with a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. So I was able to take a lot of things away from there, not only schematically, but program management, defensive side of the ball management as well, and just some philosophy ideas and how I've kind of wanted to build this thing here for a couple of years now.
Well, that's great. And so now let's shift our focus to FDU and this defense. Day one is in the books. What can you tell us about what you saw on the field today?
Saw a lot of guys with a lot of heart, a lot of guys that were out there flying around, playing fast, a lot of guys that were communicating, which is huge for us on defense. Offense is going to come out in a lot of different formations, a lot of different shifts and motions. So for our guys to be able to communicate effectively, something we stressed, especially in the meeting this morning, but for those guys to be able to communicate on day one, line up, and understand what they were doing, it was great to see those guys. I'm really proud of all of them. I'm looking forward to where we're going this season and the direction we're heading.
We're also looking forward to seeing where your defense can look. And my last question to you, Coach, is this. What can we expect from the defense this upcoming year in 2019?
Well, our trademark's going to be our toughness. We'll be a fast, physical, tough football team that plays with relentless effort, that we play confident. We're going to be a downhill, multiple style defense. We're going to get our best 11 guys on the field. We want to see those guys run sideline to sideline, cover. You'll see a little bit of everything from man to zone to pressures. We'll get creative, but it's all about being sound. So for me, no matter what we're going to be in, whether we're a 4-2-5, a 3-4, or a 3-3 stack, we're going to be completely sound in everything that we do. Coverage and run fits. I like the sound
of that. Well, Coach, thank you so much for speaking with us for a few minutes. We appreciate it. Welcome back to FDU, and we look forward to seeing how you and your defense does this upcoming year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
It seems like there's a lot of excitement here after just day one of the FDU Devils football practice, and the team will look to try to continue to build on a successful day one as they prepare for the upcoming 2019 season. Reporting from Robert T. Shields Field on the campus of Fairleigh Dickinson University in Florham Park, New Jersey, I'm Neil Villapiano.